If you're moving to Dallas, I need you to hear this before you pick a house. Because the biggest mistake I see people make when they're relocating to Dallas-Fort Worth is not picking the wrong neighborhood. It's not picking the wrong builder. It's not even picking the wrong school district. The biggest mistake is picking a house that looks absolutely perfect online and then realizing after they've already closed and after they've already unpacked every single box that their actual life is 40 minutes in the opposite direction. Their job is 40 miles away. The airport they fly out of every week is 40 miles away. Their kids' activities and what they're really good at is 40 miles away. The restaurants they actually like, 40 miles away. The friends that they thought they would see all the time, 40 miles away. The sports venues, the concerts, the energy that they came here for, also 40 miles away. And the part of Dallas they thought they were moving to is not actually where they ended up living. In Dallas-Fort Worth, 40 miles is not just 40 miles. It can be an hour and a half. It can be hundreds of dollars a month in tolls. And if I'm being completely honest with you, it can change how you feel about living here altogether. That is what I call the 40-mile mistake. And the scary part is that most people do not even realize they've made it until after they've already closed on their house, enrolled their kids in school, and tried the commute a few times, driven to the airport at 5 in the morning, and realized that the places they thought they would casually enjoy are not casual at all. Hey, I'm Tiffany Caballero, and I have been helping people relocate to Dallas-Fort Worth for years. I specialize in the very far north Dallas corridor, Frisco, Plano, Prosper, Celina, and McKinney, and I work with people moving here from all over the country who are trying to figure out the same thing you are right now. Where do I actually belong in this huge metroplex? That question sounds simple, but in DFW, it's actually one of the most important decisions you're gonna make. So in this video, I will take you through how to think about Dallas the right way, not just by looking at houses, not just by looking at school district rankings, but by looking at your actual life, where you work, where you travel, where your kids will spend their time, which airport do you use, and how all of that connects or doesn't connect on a map. I also want to give you something practical at the end. I call it the 40-mile mistake test. 5 questions I use with every relocation client before we ever start looking at houses. Answer them honestly and they'll tell you whether you're looking for the right part of DFW or whether you're about to make a very expensive lifestyle mistake. So stay with me all the way through to the end. The first thing I want you to do is look at this map, because all of this is what people mean when they say Dallas. But this is not just Dallas. You have Dallas proper, Fort Worth, Frisco, Plano, McKinney, Prosper, Celina, Allen, Grapevine, Southlake, Irving, Las Colinas, Coppell, Flower Mound, Rockwall, Roanoke, Aubrey, Pilot Point, and Arlington. And there are so many. There's so many more, and they all feel very different from each other. This is why Dallas is so confusing for people moving here from out of state. Someone will say, "We're moving to Dallas," and that could mean 10 completely different lifestyles, 10 completely different commutes, 10 different daily rhythms. You could be in a high-rise near downtown, a master planned community in Frisco with a neighborhood pool, on acreage in Celina watching the sunset, or in an established Plano neighborhood with mature trees and great highway access. None of those lives are the same. And when someone moves here without understanding that, they end up making the 40-mile mistake. Here is something I explain to almost every relocation client before we ever look at homes. In a lot of cities, especially in the Northeast or the Midwest, cities with a defined urban core, there is one center of gravity, downtown, and everything else radiates out from it. So living in the suburbs carries a general meaning. You're maybe 20 to 30 minutes from downtown, reasonably close to the airport and the restaurants and culture you want access to. Dallas-Fort Worth does not work that way. It's more like multiple cities that kind of grew together, each with its own center of gravity. So Dallas has one, Fort Worth has one, Frisco has been making its own center of gravity over the last decade. Plano has a massive corporate and retail center. Arlington is the sports and entertainment hub. Grapevine and Southlake have an airport adjacent lifestyle that's genuinely distinct. And McKinney has its own historic downtown that's one of the best downtowns in the nation. Celina is becoming its own story as well. So when people say, I want to live in Dallas, what they really mean is I want the lifestyle I imagine Dallas can give me. And those two things are not always the same. Some people say they want Dallas, but what they actually want is a newer home, top schools, kids sports, walkable shopping, and a polished master planned community, which is gonna be Frisco, Prosper, McKinney, Plano. Another person says they want the suburb, but what they actually want is walkability, nightlife, and easy access to Love Field. And that person may genuinely be miserable 40 miles north of Dallas. This is why I always tell people you're not just choosing a home, you're choosing a whole radius. You're choosing where your normal everyday life needs to happen. So let's make this tangible. Frisco to Arlington is about 40 miles. Celina to downtown Dallas is about 40 miles. Prosper to Love Field, 40 miles. McKinney to Fort Worth, about 40 miles. On paper, those numbers may not scare you. I hear it all the time, but here's what I know from working with relocating families every single day. That distance starts showing up in a place you did not expect it. It shows up Monday morning when traffic is already stacked up. It shows up on a Thursday when your kid has practice across town and you're watching the clock at your desk. It shows up when you have a 7 a.m. flight and you're setting your alarm for 4:30. And it shows up when you realize you're going into Dallas far less often than you had planned, because after a long week, it's never something you just do casually. So here's the principle I come back to with every client. Do not choose your house first. Choose your life first. Then choose the house that supports it. That one sentence has saved more of my clients from regret than anything else I tell them. Because the house isn't the only thing you're buying. You're buying the roads that you'll drive on every day, the amount of tolls you're gonna pay, the airport experience you will either love or dread, the school pickup line, the Sunday morning routine, and the convenience or inconvenience of your entire everyday life. So before you get hypnotized by a beautiful kitchen and a big backyard, ask yourself, where will I actually live my life? If you do not understand the highways in Dallas-Fort Worth, you don't understand Dallas. It's that simple. So let me show you. So the Dallas North Tollway is literally the spine of the Metroplex. And I'm going to show you guys where that is. Okay, so starting in Dallas, it goes all the way up right here. And that is kind of what splits north, far north Dallas. So if you live in Frisco, Plano, Prosper, Celina, this road is going to be an everyday part of your life. Now, Highway 121, so here's our airport. Highway 121 kind of runs across far north Dallas. And it connects the Colony, Frisco, Louisville, Grapevine, the DFW airport, all the way up through McKinney. It's definitely a critical connector, and understanding how these highways work is going to be part of what I'm going to show you or want to teach you on when you're picking a neighborhood versus where you work or where you want to live and hang out. Now, if you've watched any of my videos, I also point out Highway 75, which is this highway. It takes you through Richardson all the way down into Dallas as well. This is a free highway, so you can imagine how many more people will take this. You're gonna have to determine if you want to pay and get somewhere faster or take the free highway and be a little bit more gridlocked. I try to avoid 75 at all costs because it's always crowded, but it does get you from that McKinney, Allen area all the way down to Dallas. The other significant highway is 635, and it goes all the way around Dallas. And so people that live in Dallas will say things like, oh, I live inside of 635, or, oh, I don't want to drive, north of 635 because they think that's so far. And it's really not. If I'm in Frisco and I need to get to Dallas, if I can leave Frisco by 4:30, I can get to Dallas in 30 minutes. It's really those rush hour times on the Dallas North Tollway that get a little backed up and a little bit frustrating. I always have felt like if I pay for a highway, there should be a minimum speed, and then it should be free if it goes under that. But now I don't make those choices with the road systems, so they were never gonna ask me that. Now, another one is the George Bush Turnpike, and it goes like this, and it really connects the southern part of Dallas to the northern and then the eastern. It's a paid toll as well, but it makes things very convenient when you need to get from over here to over here, and you don't necessarily wanna go directly through Dallas. You can go around, and it's a faster speed limit. I don't think there's a lot of traffic on the George Bush, maybe in certain pockets, but it's really easy to take the George Bush Tollway. And then lastly, there's 35 West or 35W and 35E. And that matters if you live in the Keller, Southlake, Grapevine areas. It helps you get places faster. I will say that I feel like they've been under construction my whole life. It's a kind of the running joke, but with the Dallas-Fort Worth area growing as quickly as it did over the last, 40 or 50 years, it has been a constant construction. But, they're making it better and better and better, but you will see construction on those roads, but they're nice and they're free, and that helps things when you are talking about total money that you're living every single month. Okay, and just for you guys to know, this is far north Dallas, all the way up to 380 and above. So Frisco's here. I'll do an F, which is not easy to write with. Prosper's way up here. Celina is even further. And then you've got all the cities in between. You've got Allen, you've got McKinney, the colonies over here. So Plano, lots of things going in far north Dallas. So if you have any questions in that whole area, you're gonna get lots of answers from us. So here's a truth that catches people off guard. In Dallas, your quality of life is heavily connected to the roads. People tell themselves, oh, it's only 30 miles, without calculating traffic, toll costs, school pickup timing, or driving home from an event at 10:30 at night. And I wanna say something that might sound a little dramatic, but it's completely true. In Dallas, the wrong road can make the right house feel totally wrong. Two houses can be the same distance from your workplace on paper, and one commute is smooth and easy, while the other is genuinely miserable. One might be a clean shot down 121, the other might involve cutting across surface streets, hitting every school zone, and merging onto a highway that's already backed up, and you arrive stressed before your workday even begins. That's why when I work with clients, I don't just look at the mileage. I look at the route, the direction, time of day, and whether the commute depends on toll roads. And here's the thing about house hunting weekends. Almost every relocation buyer flies in for a Saturday, tours homes, and thinks, traffic's not all that bad. Saturday traffic is not your real life. Your real life is Monday morning, Tuesday afternoon school pickup, Thursday evening practice across town. Test your life on the map before you test houses in person. It's just the smarter way to go. While we're on the topic of roads, let's talk about tolls for a minute, because this also catches people off guard. In Dallas, toll roads are not an occasional inconvenience. For a lot of people, they've become a real monthly budget. If you are commuting regularly on the Dallas North Tollway, 121, or George Bush, you could easily spend $50 to $300 a month, sometimes more. Over a year, that's potentially $3,000 or more just to move around your own city. And I'm not saying toll roads are bad. In many cases, they genuinely make life easier and faster. I prefer to take them. But you need to know whether your dream house comes with a hidden toll bill before you fall in love with it, so that you can budget it in. Because sometimes the house that looks like a better deal further out, lower price per square foot, bigger lot, newer build, is not as affordable as it appears once you factor in the time, the gas, the tolls, and the daily friction of being far from everything that you do. That is also part of the hidden cost of the 40-mile mistake. It's not just what you pay at closing, it's what you pay every week after that. So now let's talk airports. This is one of the most overlooked parts of moving to Dallas, and I want to spend real time on it because it matters more than most people realize. You have two major airports. You've got DFW, Dallas-Fort Worth International. That's the big one. It's a major American Airlines hub, one of the busiest airports in the world, and the right choice if you're traveling international or routing through a major hub. Then you've got Dallas Love Field. It's smaller, it's more intimate, more domestic focused. A lot of people genuinely love flying out of Love Field because the experience is just easier. It's got shorter walks, faster security lines. It's just less overwhelming in general. Southwest operates out of Love Field almost exclusively, and for a lot of frequent travelers, that matters a lot. But here's where it gets critical for your location decision. Where you live completely changes your airport experience. If you live in Grapevine or Southlake, DFW can feel incredibly convenient. You might be 10, 15 minutes away on a good morning. If you live in Frisco, it's usually pretty manageable, but you're looking at 25 to 35 minutes depending on traffic. If you're in Celina or far north McKinney, airport trips become a real planning variable, not just a detail. And if you live in East Dallas, Preston Hollow, or closer to the city, Love Field may feel like the most natural option. I had a client a while back, amazing family, very clear about what they wanted in their home. They'd been watching content about Celina, completely fell in love with the space and the land and the newer builds. All of that was real. Celina is genuinely great for a lot of people. But when we mapped out their actual life, we realized that the husband was flying out of DFW for work at least twice a month with early flights. Once we sat with that honestly, we had a real conversation about whether Celina was the right fit or whether we needed something that kind of split the difference a little bit better. That is exactly the kind of conversation I want you to have with yourself before you fall in love with the location. A lot of people say the airport's only 30 or 40 minutes, like it's no big deal, but it may be 35 minutes with no traffic or significantly longer with normal morning traffic, construction, rain. And that's not just once. That is every early flight, every late night arrival, every time you calculate whether you've left the house on time. If travel is a significant part of your life, please do not treat airport access like a small detail. All right, let's talk about lifestyle, because this is where that 40-mile mistake really becomes real for people. Everyone moving to Dallas-Fort Worth says they want access to everything, and that's actually true. DFW has incredible sports, concerts, airports, restaurants, shopping, museums, lakes, theme parks, professional jobs, great schools, new construction. You've got luxury, you've got walkability, but all of it is spread out. And spread out means you will not use everything the same way depending on where you live. Here's what I've observed over years of working with relocating families. Most people use what's convenient. So you go to the restaurants near you, your kids play sports near you. Your friends become the people who are easy to see. Your weekend routine forms around your area. The things that are 40 minutes away, even the things you genuinely love, you visit far less often than you thought you would. If you choose a house 40 miles from what you actually care about, what actually happens is not that you keep making the drive. What usually happens is you stop doing those things. And one day you realize the life you pictured when you moved here is not the life you're actually living. If you're moving here from out of state, the North Dallas corridor is almost certainly already on your radar. It is on most people's. This stretch running from Dallas north through Plano, Frisco, Prosper, Celina is one of the most active relocation zones in the entire country right now. Let me give you a real feel for each one, just so you know. Plano's established and convenient. This is a mature suburb with major corporate campuses. We've got Toyota, JP Morgan Chase, Liberty Mutual, Capital One, and a ton of others. So if you or your spouse work in the corporate corridor, Plano can be a genuinely natural fit. Strong roads, excellent shopping, great restaurants, and a level of that daily convenience that's really hard to match. If you are not specifically chasing brand new builds, Plano often gets overlooked because of that, but it shouldn't if you're not looking for those new builds. Frisco is the marquee name in this corridor right now, and there are real reasons for that. I love Frisco. You've got the Star, PGA Frisco, Fields, Universal Kids Resort. For families moving from out of state, Frisco has a feeling of being intentional, clean, full of life. It's newer, highly planned, very family focused, and packed with amenities. That matters a lot when you're trying to build a new life somewhere. Prosper sits in a sweet spot for a lot of people, still in that growth corridor, newer builds, stronger schools, but a little more breathing room and slightly less density than Frisco. If you want the North Dallas lifestyle with a bit more space, Prosper's often worth seriously looking at because you can get both of those there. And Celina is just a growth play. More land, newer communities, price points that can be significantly more favorable than Frisco and Prosper. And honestly, a lot of people find Celina exciting, precisely because it's still becoming what it's going to be. But I always want people to be clear-eyed about the trade-offs, and we're gonna get into those. Online, people love to rank these cities against each other, best schools, best value, best amenities, but that's not how I think about it, and it shouldn't be how anyone thinks about it. The better question is always, which one actually fits your daily life? Because if you work in downtown Dallas every single day, that changes the conversation completely. If you travel out of Love Field regularly, that changes it as well. If your weekends are mostly Dallas energy, concerts, Mavs games, restaurant hopping, that changes everything. This is where people get what I call house hypnotized. They say, but look at how much more house I can get in Celina. And yes, you probably can. You can get more square footage, bigger lots, newer builds. But the question is not just how much house I can get. The question is, what am I trading for that house? Because sometimes the trade-off is 40 miles. Those 40 miles may not bother you today while you're scrolling things from your couch, but they're gonna show up every Monday morning, every airport trip, every time your kids have something across town. The people who are happiest here are not always the ones who bought the biggest house they could find. They're the ones that bought the right location for their actual life. Quality of life matters. Frisco has become one of the top relocation destinations in the entire country, not just in DFW, and there are real reasons for that. When you look at what has come to this corridor, Legacy West in Plano, the Star, PGA, Fields, Universal Kids Resorts, plus strong schools, new construction, master planned communities with trails and pools and parks and major corporate campuses nearby, you definitely see the appeal. And for families moving from out of state who want suburban convenience, organized kids activities, and newer development, Frisco can feel like it is a genuinely natural fit. But I want to give you the honest version too, because I think that serves you better than just a highlight reel. Frisco has a lot. Frisco's not close to everything. Those are two very different statements. Frisco's close to a lot of things in North Dallas. It's not close to Fort Worth. It's not close to Arlington, and it's sure not close to Love Field. Not the way that Dallas is. You are not popping over to Bishop Arts or Deep Ellum on a Tuesday night without planning for it. You absolutely can go. People do it all the time. I've done it, but it's a planned outing. And in DFW, casual disappears quickly when it involves 40 miles. So if your life's going to be in North Dallas, if that is where your work is, your kids' activities, your friends, your weekends, Frisco might be an incredible choice for you. But if your heart is actually in Dallas every weekend, or you need to be near DFW Airport constantly, or your closest people are in Fort Worth, look at the map carefully before you commit to Frisco. Let me give you one of my favorite examples because I think it really crystallizes everything I'm trying to say. So let's talk Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys world headquarters, the Star, is actually in Frisco. Practice facilities, restaurants, tours, events, the whole Cowboys brand experience. It is a beautiful complex, but the actual games are played at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Those are not the same locations. They're roughly 40 miles apart. So someone moving to Frisco might think they're close to the Cowboys, and they are close to the Star, but they are not next door to game day. A trip to Arlington is traffic, parking. It's a whole planned evening. That may be fine for 8 home games a year, but is it worth being honest about what close to the Cowboys actually means in your specific case? This is what I mean when I say Dallas is not one city. You can be close to one part of a lifestyle and still 40 minutes from another part of that same lifestyle. Arlington is the mega event zone of the Metroplex. AT&T Stadium, Globe Life Field, Six Flags, Hurricane Harbor, major concerts and events year-round. But most people who enjoy those things do not live in Arlington just because of them. They drive there when the occasion calls for it. Depending on where you live, Arlington is either a manageable distance or a significant haul. It takes me 45 minutes to get to Globe Life Field from Frisco. If your family's constantly doing things in Arlington, if you are a season ticket holder, you love concerts, or have family on that side of the Metroplex, then living all the way in far north, it may start to feel frictiony and uncomfortable. It's about being honest about where your life actually pulls you. Downtown and the areas immediately around it, so Uptown, Deep Ellum, Bishop Arts, Knox Henderson, Lower Greenville, represent the most urban feel in the entire Metroplex. I lived down there for 6 years. There's walkability, nightlife, restaurants, the American Airlines Center for the Mavericks and the Stars game, and Love Field access that genuinely is easy. If any of that matters to you, proximity to the city itself should be a serious factor in your search. Even though the Mavs and the Stars are both getting new locations and one of them's in Plano, we're really excited about that. A lot of people who end up regretting a far north purchase are not people who made a bad financial decision. They're people who bought into the master planned community dream, which is genuinely beautiful, but whose personality will always go to pull them back to the city. They're often driving 35 to 40 miles more often than they expected, and over time it wears on them and they want to move back. I'm not saying the suburbs are wrong. I work in the suburbs. I love what these communities offer, but they are not right for everyone. And the best version of this decision is the one one you make with complete honesty about how and where you actually want to live. Grapevine and Southlake are underappreciated in the relocation conversation, and I want to give them their due words. These communities sit closer to the Dallas-Fort Worth airport. This is a key thing. They give you access to both sides of the Metroplex in a way that not many can. They're very centrally located. From Southlake or Grapevine, you can reasonably get to Fort Worth, to Dallas, to Arlington, to the airport. That central west positioning is a real strategic advantage to the right person. So if you want to be kind of in the suburb, but yet really close to everything, those two cities are a great choice. If you travel frequently by plane, DFW access from here is some of the best in the Metroplex. If you have family in Fort Worth, but work somewhere close to the Dallas side, this area helps you split that difference. And the lifestyle here feels distinct from the newer build North Corridor. Southlake Town Square, the historic feel of Grapevine, more established luxury neighborhoods. If you're exclusively focused on Frisco, Prosper, and Celina, because it's what you keep seeing online, I would encourage you to at least understand what this side of the Metroplex offers, because sometimes the area you barely consider is the one that you might fall in love with and have a really significantly easier life. So Grapevine and Southlake. Let me give these areas the credit they deserve, because they often get less attention than the newer build cities, and they shouldn't. Plano's maturity is one of the biggest advantages. You've got real trees, major roads, corporate campuses, strong shopping and dining, and daily convenience that's hard to beat. Allen has strong schools, great family neighborhoods, solid shopping, often better value than comparable parts of Frisco. It has its own energy and a position relative to 75 and 121 that gives good access in multiple directions, and you can get anywhere fast. And McKinney has something a lot of the newer suburbs do not, which is character. A beautiful historic downtown, local restaurants, boutiques, and a sense of place that feels genuinely rooted. It has grown significantly and it continues to grow, but it has not sacrificed its identity in that process. One thing I always tell clients, even after you choose a city, you have to choose the right part of that city. West Plano feels different than East Plano. West McKinney feels different from far north McKinney near the edge of the growth. Different parts of Allen have very different access depending on whether your daily life revolves around 75 or 121. The city name matters, but the pocket matters too. That is where a good local strategy makes all the difference. Before we get to the test, I want to pull back to the big picture for a moment, because I think there is something important here that I don't want you to miss. Moving to Dallas-Fort Worth is very, very exciting. It's a place with real opportunity for careers, for family, for financial growth. Almost every area I've talked about today is great for someone. But the reason people struggle with this decision is that they default to what is easiest to compare: the house, bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, lot size, price, photos. You can line up two houses and compare them in 5 minutes. Lifestyle is harder to compare. You can't put it in a spreadsheet, but lifestyle is almost always what determines whether you're happy after you move. So before you go any further in your search, I want you to do one thing: map your real life. Where will you work? Where will your spouse work? Where will your kids go to school or do their activities? Which airport matters to you? Where are your friends or family in the whole DFW area? Where do you genuinely enjoy spending time? Do you want to access the Dallas energy, or are you perfectly happy building your whole life in a self-contained suburb? Do you want new construction, or do you want established character? Do you want land, or do you want convenience? Because they're different. Every single one of these answers pushes you in a different part of the Metroplex. And that is why the right city is never the same for everyone, no matter what you see trending online. Okay, this is what I promised you at the beginning. This is the 5 questions I work through with every relocation client before they ever pull up a single listing. I want you to answer them honestly, not the way you want the answer to be, but the way they actually are. So question 1, where will you be on a normal Tuesday? Not your dream Saturday, not the one weekend a month where you go explore somewhere new, a normal midweek Tuesday. Where do you work? Where do your kids need to be before school, after school, in the evenings? How long should those drives reasonably take before they start to wear on you? Tuesdays tell the truth. Saturdays make everything look fun and possible. But Tuesday is the commute, the pickup line, the evening practices that run late, the night you do not want to cook and you need something good and close. Map your Tuesday. This is where your location decision starts. Question number 2, where will you be on a normal Friday night? I ask this one because it reveals a lot about what a person actually needs from their location. Are you someone who genuinely drives into Dallas for dinner and a show on Friday? Or are you going to the Star in Frisco with your family, staying close to home and cooking with neighbors, trying to be around energy and nightlife, completely fine with a quiet evening near the house? There's no wrong answer. The problem only arises when the answer is one thing and the house is 40 miles in the wrong direction. If your honest Friday night is in Dallas and you are living in far, far north Dallas, you will go less often than you think. Over time, that starts to feel like you're missing out on your own life, and it will affect you. Know your Fridays. Question 3, which airport are you actually going to use? Not which one exists, which one will you actually use the most based on how you like to fly. Are you an American Airlines person routing through DFW? Are you a Southwest Airlines person who loves the ease of Love Field, flying internationally for work? How often? Monthly, bi-weekly, weekly? Are early morning flights a regular part of your life? If you're catching an early flight once a month, the airport is still a detail. If you are leaving every Monday morning and coming back every Thursday evening, the airport is a lifestyle variable. Where you live relative to the airport will either support your life or quietly drain you. And then question number 4, what are you actually willing to trade for the house? Every location decision in DFW involves a real trade-off, and there is no area that is perfect on every dimension. More house often means more distance, more land often means more drive time, more walkability means less square footage for the price, and being in the growth pattern often means trading some convenience for future upside, which is what I decided to do. None of these trade-offs are wrong. Some of them are genuinely smart, but they are all real, and you need to be honest with yourself about which ones you can actually live with. The people who end up unhappy are usually not people who made a bad financial decision. They're people that accept a trade-off they were never truly okay with, and convenience themselves wouldn't matter. So be honest about what you're willing to trade. That clarity will make you confident in your final decision, whatever it is. Question 5, if you could only use what's within 15 minutes of your house for most of your life, would you still be happy? This is a big one, and I save it for last because it's the question that most directly catches that 40-mile mistake before it happens. Here's the truth. Once you move in, the vast majority of your daily life will happen very close to you. Your grocery store, your gym, your kids' school, your regular restaurants, your errands, your church or your faith community, your neighbors, your Saturday morning routine. You will visit other parts of the Metroplex. You will go to the events and the games and the special dinners in other areas, but the texture of your everyday life, that's shaped by what's within a 10 to 15 minute around your front door. So ask yourself honestly, if I had only my immediate area, would I love it? Would I feel connected? Would I feel like I'm living the life that I want? If the answer is yes, you've probably found a location worth exploring seriously. If the answer is, I guess, but the real reason I want to live there is to be close to the things that are actually kind of far, that is the 40-mile mistake trying to happen. Because most people do not live all over the Metroplex every day. They live in their pocket. And if you do not love your pocket, no amount of house is going to fix that. The people who truly love living here do not just pick a pretty house. They pick the right location for their actual life. They understand the map. They understand the trade-offs. They knew what they were optimizing for. And that's what I want for you. Because Dallas can be incredible. Frisco, Plano, McKinney, Prosper, Celina, Grapevine, Fort Worth, Dallas proper, all can be incredible. All of these places can be genuinely amazing for the right person, but they're not the same life. The right one is the one that matches yours. So before you choose the house, choose the life. Map your Tuesday, map your Friday night, map your airport, map your kids' locations, map your kids' activities, map your real routine, and then find the house that supports all of that in one easy swoop. And if you're planning to move to Dallas right now and you want help figuring out which part of the Metroplex actually makes sense for your life, text us. This is what we do every single day because the goal is not just getting you into a house, the goal is to get you into the right life. And until the next video, I hope you have a great rest of your day.